actually find it quite hard to conceive that in the time that they tell us that we've got electric cars coming, that we're where we were in time, if you understand what I mean. So I've obviously put a few pictures together on the little video. So they're making electric cars like this in the late 1800s. Looks like a big, you know, horse cart with a top on it, doesn't it, you know? Anyway, these are some of the electric things that they had. Electric cars, electric, I suppose those ones are cars, aren't they? There's a little sort of bus thing up there. This is what they were making just as the 1900s are coming up. Adverts, and that one says 2,250. They weren't that cheap then, were they? I mean, if you imagine the timing, how long ago this is. But there's the electric cars, all electric. How could they go from this electric to petrol and diesel? What a travesty. I find out that it says there that the car was built about 1832, but I found another place that says 1828. So there you go, that's what it says. And they're saying that although they were developed before that, they really went into production at the very late 1800s. But as we were there and had these things, oh yeah, but in America, electricity didn't come to the houses until 1882, but we've got electric cars in 1832. So something's not right there in our history, is it? Something's very, very out. Didn't get it in their houses till 1882, but we're making cars. And then I was looking at this one, and he says starts in the 1830s making cars. So I thought that that was quite interesting, because another person, and that is, you know, like the timeline's getting older. Come on, everything used to be at the turn of the century. Now, you know, we've just come out of the 1700s, and they've got, well, a bit longer, I know it's 30 years, but we're that side of it, and they've got electric cars, when these are the paintings they're showing us for the 1800s, like we were like this in the pictures. So I actually, look, photographs 32. Just look at everybody, long dresses. But we were able, even though none of the houses had electricity. I'm going to check up England in a minute, and I'm going to check up electric vans, because that's quite interesting. But look at the state we were in, dressed like hardly any photographs are on here except that one of Victoria. And then, but at the same time, in 1832 they're making cars, electric cars. It just doesn't add up as per usual. Like, no matter when you start to look at it, you think, and then this is the one, time in history. There you go, 1828 they say. So in 1828 they had cars. Oh my god, come on. No wonder everything had to be destroyed. I mean, you know, you look at the pictures, and in some ways we're very advanced, in other ways we're not, but they obviously had to destroy everything and lie about everything, and so we can't quite put it all together. So 1 year earlier, the English started having electricity, power to people's houses. 1 year earlier, it's Russia. So Russia had it before America. If I go back to the pages, so England, America, England, Russia. China, 1882, same time as America. They're saying about 1880. This is Australia. That one is Germany. So I'm just looking up Canada. I just wanted to see roughly when the first... Whoa, well they were a long time, but oh golly. When did electricity come to Canada, I've put. When was electricity available in homes? Oh, there you go. 1882. When did electricity come to Toronto? 1910. So it does look a little bit behind, doesn't it? 1890s. From 1890 to 1910, knob and tube wiring was used for electronic installation. But anyway, yeah, I was just putting in different places. Last one, which one shall we pick? Country around the world. Italy. Let's have a look at Italy, or do Spain. Well, they had it obviously a bit later. When did electricity get to Europe? It doesn't really say, it just says increased rapidly to the 1930s, 19th century, so they're not putting that as early. Let's put Spain, just see what they say. I know what they've said there, but they always say different things, so. There you go. Woo! That's earlier! In Spain, more backward country than the rest of Europe, the coming of an industrial electricity was used for the first time. Barcelona in 1873 was it considered a real? When was there electricity in 1870? Power grid, cross electricity. Well, they're saying there was in 1870, but there had to be 1873. See, it's crazy. This one is Swedish, 1885s. The oldest one now is Spain. This one's Mexico, it says 1881. This one is Ireland, 1880. I suppose it has to fit in with England, doesn't it? And Japan seems a couple of years before, but I was a bit shocked at the Spanish one. It's even earlier than that. It's like another 7-8 years earlier. Anyway, we're going to look at, it's got to be anyway because they were making electric cars. To have electric cars, we had to have electricity. Anyway, let's move on to the electric vans. Anyway, just before we move on, these are the kind of machines that they were doing to charge the car up. We've got things like that today on the side of the road in London. I've seen them, especially in London. But, yeah. These are the kind of things that we were in. So, although I feel that we were quite advanced, to have the electric cars and all that, but these are not very modern, are they? These look like they're horses and carts, and then they've just put a different top on. The base, the chassis, like the cart. Yeah, anyway, let's go on to lorries. Well, on my way to look at lorries comes horses and carts, but I mean that is pulled by a horse, but they were becoming electric too. So these would have been electric before, they're saying. Horses and carts, horses, electric. Electric lorries. All this advancement with being able to do this when the people look so bedraggled still. I don't think he is standing next to him, to be honest. Don't know, colour difference. Anyway, for all that technology, this says a 1903 Mercedes. Who'd want one of them now? This one's more a car. I'm struggling to find lorries and stuff, to be honest, at the moment. But another electric car. I don't know if I'd want anyway. Yeah, that looks a bit more sort of modern, I suppose, doesn't it? Yeah, a little electric lorry. Ransom's electric. Right, in museum here, look. Well, in this picture we've got pavements, roads, and electric transport. bus and lorry. It says 1896 there. If we'd already got this far to make this, why did we go to petrol and diesel? This was clean and safe and eco-friendly. Not electric. Oh no, electricity, delivery vans and trucks with horses. But what's your thoughts on that? If we were making electric cars in 1832, how could we ever have gone all to do with money and lies when we could have been living a really, really clean life, so much cleaner? These people had it. They were electric. Look, there's not just one or two photographs. There's loads of photographs of electric transport made, even if it looks a bit, you know, out of date. But there you go, look at it, just picture after picture. There's not just one or two, there's loads of pictures of trucks. So why did we, when we had all this, why, when we had this, was it destroyed and put us through buying diesel and petrol when we were all ready, eco-friendly, electric, the whole thing? Why would they do that? That one looks like a little steam engine on the go, doesn't it? But yeah, anyway, what's your thoughts? Hi everybody, putting this little video together. You could have blown me down with a feather, but I think I've been seeing it for weeks, but I put it together today. What do you reckon of these two? Oh my god, I don't know if it's the Biden of today, but maybe the Biden of 10, 20, 30 years ago and Prince Philip. What do you reckon? I'll just play my little video. So obviously that's me putting it together. Their eyes match. I don't know what people's thoughts are. Maybe they think she's mad, she's lost it. But I think that Biden looks quite like Prince Philip, to be honest. Especially this picture. It's got the same in their mouths, everything. It's only makeup. That's the difference. This picture, Biden has hardly any hair. He's got more hair now than he did have then. Anyway, look at that. The Queen is married to Biden. Or was. Oh my god. Imagine all these contracts they make. They're evil people. Look at that. I think he's Biden. What's your thoughts? I just saw it today. Just not the Prince Philip or the Biden now, but the ones 20, 30 years ago. What's your thoughts? Do you think these people look anything alike? I think they do. I think they look quite alike. Oh my goodness, what to make of it all. Anyway, thanks for watching. What's your thoughts? Hello everybody. I think most people have their idea of what they think about mud floods. But I was watching one the other day, I can't find it right now, the video, but basically there was 3 buildings on top of each other. So they built twice on top of other buildings. That means 2 other mud floods had been here. And we can already see at least one of them. There's like one in these ones because you can see the level of mud on the buildings, like on here and here and here. You can see where the mud has been, and yeah, I mean, look at this building here, for instance. Look at that. Look how much of that. I mean, like half of it was under the mud. But I don't think they're new. I think, we're always struggling with flooding. Obviously they were pretty bad, the floods, to take out so much of this place, and then when they come back, where's all the people must have gone? Well, people come back and go, hey, half our house is missing, but we're just living it. No one's reporting it in the papers or anything. And underneath the bit that they're uncovering, there's lots of arches. See on the bottom picture, arches. Always uncovering these arches, whatever they are. Look at that, half the building is underground, or was underground. You can find loads of pictures on the internet. I mean, look at that one. That one's showing you the mud. So it had to have happened. Just pictures I saw on my round. Like that one there, like there's layers of it there in that one. But it's quite incredible really, isn't it? And they don't talk about it. The governments don't talk about it. No one talks about it. Not even historians talk about it. What's your thoughts on mud flooding? I know we've covered a bit of it anyway during the months, but this one specifically on mud floods. What does everybody make of all this? Like, we've been flooded, man. We've been flooded. If I listened to the other film the other day, it's at least twice. And there in China, they had, look at that. That's more modern. It was 33 buildings from flooding. But I did notice in the picture that the grass was still there and the water was in the, so I'm not sure about that picture. But anyway, what's your thoughts?
Entrance. There's a doorway toasted. And this is the same rock formation I found right across from Mount Rushmore. And what gave this away for me, to be truthful? When I looked at Mount Rushmore, I noticed there was, right in the back, there's an entrance. There's a doorway. But what I was thinking was, what are they looking at? Right? Like, as the old saying goes, only a fool would stare at someone pointing. Right? If you've ever seen the movie, I think it's Emily. Only a fool would stare at someone pointing. So that's why I turned Mount Rushmore around and I said, okay, well, what are they looking at? So I turned it around and I went to see, okay, well, what are they looking at? Same sort of round base there. Interesting. Didn't capture that until just now. Now, I was looking for more red brick, obviously. Now, putting all things into perspective, all things being equal, as they say, the formation of these stones seems like, totally toasted toast. And even from this angle, there's no way of telling. Obviously, I can... If it looks like a duck and smells like a duck, it's probably a duck. You guessed it. So, that's where we're at with this. I mean, if someone wants to go there, to the old tourist trap, and check it out, pay admission. I think in this you'll see the You'll see the tour buses and stuff. Alright, maybe this is where it began. Yeah, see the hole back there of the entrance? But really what I was looking at, I just smoked a doobie, guys, that's where I can barely breathe, but excuse me. But I'm still doing really well with the cigarettes. I haven't touched them. So, that looks like a brick wall to me down there. And if you follow this, see that? Down there, it looks like a brick wall to me. Okay? That was where my research was going when I started looking at Mount Rushmore this way, kind of going, knowing what we know now. You almost have to see everything with new eyes in a sense, like you wouldn't go looking for that unless maybe perhaps I drew your attention, someone drew your attention to it.
And again, underneath this house you can see an extremely old building or structure. You've got windows, arches, steps. And if you look where the mouse is, it looks like they're tiny, tiny bricks. But this is directly underneath a house. You can see the ground level there and the house above it. Which is strange, because normally when you build a house you put foundations in, so why aren't these houses got foundations? They just connected directly on top, smoothed out and then built directly on top, and it must have been. This building clearly goes 2 floors underneath. Here you can see a few resets. I can see 1, 2, 3 on top of each other. Let's have a little zoom in. You can see it looks like there's been a couple of resets done here. See that top bit's the last reset, I believe. Along here would have been the original pavement line, or the previous, sorry. You can see how ancient the blocks are in between. I reckon they dug down, found another couple of floors, and then obviously dug down again and found more floors. So I wonder how far this really does go down. But the further it goes down, the older it looks. Now this looks like it's done with like Fred Flintstone rocks. You know, look at that, look at the arches. And they are big old blocks compared to that guy. The blocks are like 4 times the size of his head. Then the next level above that is a mixture of rocks and bricks. And then above that, on the last street level, it's just blocks. So this picture is quite revealing. You can see different stages here. There's definitely a few resets in this picture, at least 2. And I bet a lot of money on it. It goes down a lot further.
And here I'm just adding some more photographs. I'm probably not adding anything new really, but it is quite strange that they don't talk about this catastrophic event which happened at least once, if not twice, because I saw this other video where he's explaining that there's 2 houses underneath and they've just built on top. Why can't they tell us the truth? You know, we would understand if it was tsunamis that had done a lot of it, but the not telling the truth is the bit, isn't it? But to not even mention it, but it is there when you, there are bits when you hunt around. But anyway, look at that. Anyway, what's your thoughts? We'll just let the video finish off and leave your thoughts afterwards. Thanks very much.